going to take a look at what's grabbing headlines right now here in France with Flo Villamino. Hi there.
Okay.
And it's not Michel Houellebecq yet. We're talking about the economy.
Absolutely. Specifically, France's poor economic performance in 2014. That's the focus of a lot of papers. Le Figaro focuses on the fact that France is no longer the world's fifth largest economy. And to add insult to injury, the prestigious title now belongs to the neighbor.
Oh dear.
Who is it? Great Britain, according to
rivals.
Historic rival. These are according to new European Commission figures in 2014. British GDP grew in such a way that it overtook France by a whisker, pushing France down to sixth place. So bad news, but don't worry, things are about to get better. That's according to the economy minister, who gives an interview today to Les Echos, the business paper. This interview is getting a lot of attention in the press today. Let's take a look on the front page. There's a quote from his interview. 2015 will be the year of a turning point in the economy. But this sounds quite familiar. This is something that France has been promised quite a bit recently.
And he would say so, wouldn't he? What's he basing this on?
Well, he says that he's expecting investments and hiring to bounce back in 2015 because of reforms that have recently been put in place.
His reforms,
right? Exactly. He says that all we need is young French people who want to become billionaires. So he's very confident, and let's hope he's right.
Let's hope indeed. Well, from the economy minister to the health minister, Marisol Touraine, she's got herself into hot water over a doctors' strike.
That's right, a strike that's expected to continue in days to come. Now, doctors are angry about health reforms that she's trying to put in place that they say will make them a victim of the state's red tape. And not only that, but they say that the government isn't listening to them. And you can see Libération today, they're talking about a strike that hasn't received the right treatment, that's been neglected, if you will. They feel like the minister just won't open a dialogue with them. But one person is listening to them, and that is the former president, Nicolas Sarkozy. He's really stepped up to the plate and lending them a sympathetic ear. According to Les Echos yesterday, the UMP, the leader of the UMP, aka Dr. Sarkozy, as the French papers are calling him, held a marathon of consultations, receiving a string of doctors and pharmacy union representatives, and he's scheduled to continue these meetings today, up to 7 meetings just today with doctors' representatives.
Okay, well, he had been staying out of the spotlight, really, hadn't he? France's former president. Le Figaro has been taking a closer look at what he's been up to.
That's right. Le Figaro says that all this is part of a new political strategy in his head-to-head with the president, François Hollande. This is the front page of Le Figaro. You can see they're taking a closer look at this new strategy. Basically, according to Le Figaro, Sarkozy has decided to oppose President Hollande's media omnipresence by cultivating a kind of calculated discretion, taking a step back from the spotlight. And Le Figaro says that this is a very calculated strategy, a calculated silence. Basically, he's trying to dose out his media interventions and not necessarily hit back at the president every time the president makes a comment. Now, this must be quite hard for Sarkozy because he's not really one for staying out of the spotlight. He's not one for keeping his mouth shut, according to a lot of papers. When he was president, he was called the hyper-president. He was very present in the media. And to quote one of his close advisors, they say his 2 years in political absence, well, his 2 years out of the spotlight in political absence taught him a lot of things. He's learned the importance of scarcity. Less can be more. The same advisor says, let's hope that he can keep a lid on it as long as possible.
Okay, a lot of people obviously hoping that he's going to return to the presidency, aren't they? Well, we started off by talking about the economy as the top story, as Flo was telling us in most of the papers, but that controversial novel, it is making it into the papers, isn't it? We're talking about Michel Houellebecq, the master of provocation.
That's right. Very controversial and divisive character here in France. He is on the front page of Le Figaro. There's a photo of him, at least. So his new book is out today, Submission, and it imagines France in 2022 with the election of France's first Muslim president from a Muslim party. Now, in the book, women abandon Western dress, leave work, non-Muslim teachers are forced out of their jobs. Polygamy is reinstated, as you can imagine. It's very controversial, and it has caused a national scandal and a debate even before it came out. There's a debate in Le Monde, actually, with famous authors who have read the book giving their opinion. Emmanuel Carrère, he's a famous author here, he applauds the book. He says it's extraordinary and it's a consistent novel. It's a good novel. And on top of that, it's an important novel. And he likens it to dystopian novels like 1984 or Brave New World. But, of course, a lot of people really don't like the book. Let's take a look at another article. This is Marc Weitzman. He's another author. He says the book is dangerous, actually, and it really is playing into this Islamophobia that we're seeing not only here in France, but very much across Europe, this kind of hate speech against Muslims. As you can see here, he talks about the toxicity of the book, and he says it isn't even a good book, but it definitely is a book that's getting a lot of attention. Maybe it'll be the bestseller this year.
Well, I hope all these people have actually read it. I hope they've had advanced copies. I hope they're not just judging it ahead of time. We're certainly going to be having a look, aren't we, I think?
Absolutely.
Well, thanks very much for now. I'm sure we'll be hearing more about this book in the days to come. We'll see you a bit later on for the international papers.